What's up, everyone? This is Trainer Dell, and in this video I have for you my Wyleth Soul of the Steel deck profile. This was one of the precons, so an easy grab up for like 20 bucks, and just put a few cards here and there into it. Not too crazy and like upgrading it. Just some stuff that I had lying around and some stuff that were my locals. So yeah, let's get right into it. So Wyleth Soul of the Steel is the legendary creature human warrior. It's a Boros boy right here. Colors I really do like, but he has trample, and whenever he attacks, then you get to draw a card for each aura and equipment attached to it. So he in himself is like a draw engine if you get like any auras or equipments onto the board or attached to him. So it's pretty cool. And he has trample, just 2/2. So you got to really kind of protect them. You got to set up in the early turns. But yeah, so some of his cast, there's not a lot of creatures in here, but some of the stuff are like they're all like utility creatures. So Core Blade Master gives all warriors that are equipped double strike, so that helps Wyleth a lot because it's like low power. Relic Seeker came in the precon, and it has Renown 1, so when it does damage, combat damage to a player, it becomes Renown, gets a +1/+1 counter, and then you can search your deck or your library for an equipment card and then put it to your hand. Shram, Senior Artificer, just helps you whenever you cast an aura equipment, you get to draw a card. Rhea, Master Smith, great card that came in the same set, but whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, then that creature gains double strike. So like I said, just to help Wyleth survive most of the time. Brass Squire, really cool. Just a tap to attach target equipment you control to a target creature you control. Arden, Intrepid Archaeologist. This card is really cool. Just a sleeper. I like, when I was looking through the extra cards of the Commander Legends, I was like, whoa, beginning of combat, I can attach any number of auras and equipment to any target permanent. And I was like, whoa, so that can just help Wyleth out so much, so you don't have to really use equipping costs, because that, spends a lot of mana. But also, it can work with another card in there for a surprise attack. Danitha, Capuchin, Paragon, all those keywords, but mainly auras and equipments cost 1 less to cast, so that's pretty cool. Ironclad Slayer, whenever this enters the battlefield, you just return an aura equipment from your graveyard to the hand. Could be helpful, but this one, Valida, Keeper of the Flame. So this is from Dominaria. At the beginning of combat, for each aura and equipment attached to this, create a 3/1 red elemental token with trample and haste, then they get exiled. So if this gets super equipped and super buffed up by like all the auras and equipments, like if they all end up on Validuk, then yeah, you can just swing through with some big creatures. Well, not big, but you can go kind of wide, Akiri, Fearless Voyager. I know when this card came out, my friend was like, oh, it's another Boros commander that, has some value. And I thought about it, but I think she does really well here in the 99, because I don't play a lot of creatures, like I said, but if this gets on the board, then it can help Wyleth. I'll draw through Wyleth, I'll draw through Akiri, and then you can pay the 1 white to unattach an equipment, and that creature gets indestructible by tapping it down. So it's cool. Core Cartographer, don't know if I'll keep this in the long term, but it does kind of help. For 4 mana, can just get up planes and put it to the battlefield tap, kind of like Solemn, but I think you much rather put Solemn Simulacrum in the deck if you had a choice. So I'll probably switch that out for Solemn eventually. Armored Sky Hunter, this one, when it enters, you get to look at the top 6 cards and get an aura or equipment from among them and put them straight to the battlefield. I think that's really cool, just straight to the battlefield and attached to a creature. So Armored Sky Hunter. Keeper of the Accord, one of the best new cards in white that we got in Commander Legends. The first part's pretty cool. You can kind of catch up on creatures, just kind of chump block, whatever. But the second part is the best part, and that's at the beginning of each opponent's end phase. You can search a basic planes card from your library and put it to the battlefield tap if that opponent has more lands than you. So white, balancing things out. Then Tiana, ship's caretaker. She's not super necessary. I mean, she's cool, but for 5 mana to get back equipment and stuff, like, I'd rather have a card, I think, to bring back stuff, but she's cool. She has flying and first strike, so if you equip her or enchant her with anything, she can help out. But also, if they target Wyleth, his equipments or anything while they're equipped to him and she's on the board, you'll get them back. Nahiri, the heir of ancients, and the +1 to create a core warrior token is alright, and then you can attach equipment to it. So if you have Akiri out, and this is already equipped, you can now, kind of get a few more cards. It all kind of balances out, honestly, with Akiri and Wyleth, because he you just want to equip him anyways. But the second part, the minus, is probably the best part, where you get to look at the top 6 cards, get a warrior or equipment card among them, and put it to your hand, and the rest in the bottom. So it's just to help get stuff out. We got the ramp, soul ring, prismatic lens, thought vessel. You can draw a lot of cards in here, and you're gonna need one of this or reliquary tower to keep your hand up. Arcane signet, really good. Boros, the marble diamond and fire diamond. If you get better ramp, you could always do that. But ramping on turn 2 is always still pretty good. Boros locket, commander sphere, and this right here I think is a really good card. It's inspiring statuary. You can turn all your equipments basically into mana rocks, and so if Wyleth, basically gets removed or whatever and goes back to the command zone, then the artifacts can just pay for its commander tax. Really cool. Explorer scope, whenever attacked, you can look at the top card, and if it's a land card, you can put it onto the battlefield tap. So that's kind of like cool ramp. It's not always going to work, but when it does, it's cool. Plus, it's just a 1-drop and 1 equip. Swiftfoot boots gives a creature hexproof and haste. Swift boot. Mask of Memory, when it deals combat damage, you can draw 2 cards and then discard a card. It's just 2, and then the 1 equip cost really good. And just more draw power overall, because Wyleth has trample. Cobbled Wings, probably not the greatest, but again, 1 equip cost, and it just gives the equipped creature flying, so that's some sort of evasion. Trailblazer's Boots, 2 and 2, but it has non-basic land walk, and basically everyone in Commander plays non-basic lands, so you're gonna get through. That's pretty cool. The better form of the Explorer Scope, or Explorer Scope, sort of the Animist. This card's been rising in price and just really good. A creature gets +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, you can search your library for basic land and put to battlefield tap. So more ramp, and this one is guaranteed ramp. I just like both in the deck, because doesn't hurt to have both. He keeps drawing. Black Blade Reforged. This can make Wyleth really beefy with all the lands. Crystal Slipper, and I don't like to think he wears it. It gives it 1/+1 and haste, or +1/0 and haste. I like to think he just holds the slipper in his hand and he hits people with it, or he throws it like in Austin Powers, and it's like, who throws a shoe? Haunted Cloak, just equipped creature has vigilance, trample, and haste. It already has vigilance, but the equip cost of 1 is what I like about this card, and the haste. Sword of Vengeance, kind of a pricey card in 3 and 3, but it's alright. It gives it +2/+0. You get first strike, vigilance, trample, and haste. Sunforger, probably the best equipment card in the whole deck. Just gives it +4/+0, and of course that whole red and white or Boros to unattach it and search your library for any red or white instant card with converted cost 4 or less. I think that's just really cool. You get to play without paying its mana cost. You can save yourself. If I had an extra Teferi's Protection, that'd be in here. Like, if I had the budget to do whatever I want, that would be in here. So, I mean, if you have Teferi's Protection, you want to run this deck, that's definitely a cool little add-in. Sentinel's Eyes, just +1/+1 and vigilance. It has escape, so even if this goes to the graveyard, you can get it back. And in the same type, Griff's Boon, it gets +1/+0 and has flying, so that's really good to have evasion. And then you can just pay the 3 and 1 to when this is in the graveyard, and just attach it back into a creature. But do it at sorcery speed, but it's fine. All That Glitters, basically, because a lot of artifacts and enchantments, hopefully you'll have on the board and equipped to Wyleth, so we'll pump them up. Spirit Mantle, just a protection from creatures, so he can get through. Shielded by Faith to make him indestructible. And if he does leave the battlefield, whenever a creature enters the battlefield that you can attach to it. So you can give it to something else if you really want to. Timely Ward, the new card. I kept this one in here. I took out the other card because it's so not great, in my opinion. If you want to keep it, go for it. It'd be like good flavor because it is his sword. But I do think this one's pretty cool because you can cast it if it has flash and just enchant it, and again, give it indestructible. On Sarah's Wings, enchanted creature is legendary, and it gets +1/+1 flying, vigilance, and lifelink. So some life gain, and again, that flying. Sigarda's Aid, one of the other best cards in the deck. You can cast ores and equipment as though they had flash, and when they enter, you can just equip them to any creature. Swords of Plowshare for removal. These are the instants. Disenchant, Valorous Stance, Fist of Flame, really good, especially with Wyleth. Swing Through. Hopefully he's equipped with a few cards, and then you play this one to draw another card, and then gains the +1/+0 for each card you've drawn. Abrade, Boros Charm. You can give it double strike, I believe. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, it can make everything indestructible. Save your board from board wipe. That's usually what I want to keep it for, unless you can go for game, but try to keep your permanents indestructible. Deflecting Palm, just pretty funny, because usually this is honestly a Voltron strategy, so maybe some big attack might come through your way, so you can stop just one of those big hits to you. Like, you can choose a creature that probably would deal the most damage to you. Get them back. Reverberate. Red just has really good copy spells in Reverberate, so you gotta put that in there. Generous Gift, you know, White's Beast Within. Crib Swap. Just exile target creature, its controller gets a 1/1 color shapeshifter changeling token. It's alright. Yeah, I like the exile part. Wear and Tear, and there's an Ice Cream Man outside. Bolt Bend, a card that when I saw, I thought this was really cool, but a lot of the decks I play have like less than 4 power. So yeah, like I didn't put it in here, but because I'm equipping him so much or pumping it up, that this is pretty cool. It's like Deflecting Swap, but not as expensive. Return to Dust, just to target, you know, exile target artifact or enchantment, and if it's doing your turn, you can do 2. One thing I did do on one of my friends is I did Sunforger and attached it during my turn to play this from the deck, and since it was still my turn, like I was able to do 2. Wild Ricochet, you can choose new targets for instant or sorcery, then copy it, and then choose another target. So you can get that spell plus twice. Love just redirecting stuff and also taking it. Open the Armory, one of the best cards. You should also get Steel Shaper's Gift, if anything. But this just came reprinted in Commander Legends, so glad to have that. I don't know why it wasn't in the pre-con, but whatever. Tormenting Voice, just for a little extra draw. Relentless Assault to untap all creatures that attack this turn, and then I get another combat phase, so swing through again. It can be really cool just to get so many draws. And then the Day of Judgment for board wipe. Slash the Ranks, board wipe, but you keep your commander, so Wyleth stays. Winds of Wrath, destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted, so hopefully your Wyleth is enchanted, and so Wyleth will stay. Fumigate, just an extra one. Austere Command, another one. So you can go 4 greater and then get whatever is in your way. And then for the lands, we got Command Tower, Opal Palace, Path of Ancestry, Boros Garrison, Guildgate, Windscarred Crag, Secluded Step, Forgotten Cave. I think there's 12 planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 8 mountains. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Rogue's Passage, really good. These are the utility lands. So just target creature can't be blocked. It takes 5 mana to do so, but sometimes it's definitely worth it because you'll draw so many cards. Slayer Stronghold to give any creature haste and vigilance, and +2/+0 for Boros. Sunhome Fortress of the Legion, for 5 mana, give a creature double strike. Doesn't come up too often, but it could. That's why we got other utility creatures, but if you don't get those creatures, this is fine. Mirrored Landscape for more mana, basically. And Reliquary Tower, because, like I said, you can draw so many cards with Wyleth, and you need if you want to keep everything in your hand, that's cool. So I like this take on Boros. I know they're all attacking and whatnot, And that's not the strongest of strategies. You can get stopped so easily. But the fact that when he swings through all those auras and equipments that are attached to him, replace themselves, I think that's really cool. Like I said, Akiri did it. Also reminds me of Feather, how Feather, you keep playing like cards that keep helping you draw like the cantrip cards and they just go back to your hand. So I think Boros is in the right direction. It is still attacking, and that's just something that they're good at. So let's just go all in and just get it in there, battle, bro, and with Boros. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.